Hi. Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone to this live session of NPTEL course. The title of our course is Mathematics for Economics, Part 1. I am Debarshi. I teach at the Humanities and Social Sciences Department at the IIT Guwahati. So this course, I hope people, yes, I can see some people joining. This course is meant for undergraduate students from different backgrounds, not necessarily from economics or some other discipline. In fact, many of the students are from engineering discipline, as I understand. So this aim of this course is to give a basic idea to the students of how economics is treated by using different mathematical tools. Now, some topics have been covered in the course so far. I think in all 8 weeks have been covered. 8 weeks material have been covered, and we have been going through some weekly assignments as well. So that is there. So this live session's purpose is to clarify some doubts if the students are having some doubts regarding the course, especially course material. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask those questions to me. So that is basically the purpose of this course. So if you have any questions or comments about this course, you can please go ahead and ask me those questions or comments. All right. So I don't see any questions. What you can do is to come on live and verbally ask those questions in this live session. Alternatively, you can go to the YouTube channel where this video is being live streamed, and you can ask your question in the chat box, in the live chat. So there are two ways to interact, and I'll try to verbally answer your questions or doubts as far as possible. So I don't see any questions. So let me go to the discussion session, discussion forum, to check whether there are some questions or comments in the discussion forum. I'll start from the very beginning when the course started. It started, I think, in July. Mid-July or end July it started. So there were some questions regarding exam date and all that. I think those questions have been clarified. Those doubts have been clarified by our TAs. So we have some TAs in this course who generally take care of the discussion forum. So regarding assignment 2, there was one question which I can see, and that has been clarified, I guess. Question number, yeah. And formula error. Someone has asked about a negative sign in week 4 material. I think in the video there was some problem with notation. There should be a negative sign there. I think that has been clarified. So I am very grateful to our students and viewers who have been correcting those small mistakes. Yes, there was a negative sign which should have been there. I think that has been taken care of later on. And then there were in assignment 3, that is week 3, question number 5, there were a lot of questions and comments that came to us. I can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 questions, 7, queries from our viewers who have asked the same question about the same problem in the problem set. What was that problem? The problem was there was a question. Let me go to that question itself. Just give me 1 minute. I can go to that question. So I think this was the question. In a market, the demand and supply functions are given by QT is equal to 4 minus P and QS is equal to minus 2 plus 2P respectively. Suppose there is a sudden rise in the market demand and the demand function shifts upwards by 2 units. Equilibrium price will fall by 1/3, rise by 7/2, fall to 1/3, rise to 7 divided by 2, rise to 8 divided by 3, and last option is remain unchanged. And the accepted answer, it says, is it will rise to 8/3. And many people have had doubts about these questions. And basically, all the doubts are similar. So I think, although the TA has clarified those doubts, I guess, but since there were so many queries on the same question, so I thought that I'll clarify it myself because this is a very important thing. And if this kind of questions come in the final exam, then if the doubt is not clear at this stage itself, then the same mistake will be made by the students. So it is better to clarify it right now. So what is being asked is that there is this demand function and the supply function, and the demand function is shifting upwards, right? And the demand function is shifting upwards, and when people heard this statement that the demand function is shifting upwards, they just took the demand function, which is demand as a function of price, D as a function of price, and the demand function they just added 2 to that. D is equal to the old demand function plus 2, right? That's what they thought. So this is the new demand function, which is D is equal to old demand function plus 2. That's what they thought is the new demand function, shifting upwards. And then they took the old supply function with the new demand function, and they solved that. And they found this answer to be 2/5, I think. Yes, the new demand. So the answer that they got is, I think, think 2 by 5. I think that is the question that has been asked in the discussion forum. The answer is 2 by 5. Okay. Now, what is the problem? What is the problem with this sort of conceptualization of shifting of the demand function? The main problem with this conceptualization is that when we say demand function is shifting upwards, what we have in our mind is that price quantity Cartesian plane, right? In one axis is the quantity, which could be demand and supply, and on the other axis is the price, which is the P. So when you draw the demand function, what you actually do is that you take the price on the y-axis and the quantity on the x-axis, right? Quantity on the x-axis, that is important. Price on the y-axis. Now, if this is the demand function, and this is how demand function is referred to throughout the history of economics. You can go to my earliest lectures when we talked about demand function. I think it was the third topic, which is about functions. So when I was giving examples of function itself, I gave the example of demand function. And then that was the third topic, very in the initial stages of this course. And if you refer back to that video, you will find that the price is there on the and quantity is on the x-axis. And this has been the convention throughout. Price is always on the y-axis. Quantity, that is demand, on the x-axis. Now, if that is so, then shifting upwards of the demand function, what does that mean? That basically what you first need to do is to invert the demand on the y, that is as a dependent variable on the left hand side, and express that price as a function of quantity. So the quantity terms will come on the right hand side, and then add +2, shifting upwards, right? Because P, again I'm repeating myself, P, which is the price, is on the y-axis. So shifting upwards means that the curve is shifting upwards. So whatever the price is, that is getting added with 2, right? So if you do that, then what you, so the original inverse demand function was P is equal to 10 minus Q by 2. If you add 2 to that, what you get is 12 minus Q by 2. So this is the new demand function. P is equal to 12 minus Q divided by 2. And you have the old supply function, which is P is equal to Q by 2. And if you solve it together, then you will get the new price and the new quantity. And that will be the correct answer. Okay. So I'm repeating myself basically. When in demand supply diagram, one says that the demand function is shifting upwards. What is happening is actually the inverse demand function is shifting upwards, because in that diagram P is on the y-axis, not on the x-axis. Among some students, that if the demand function is shifting upwards, I just take Q as a function of P. Because as I mentioned, when I draw the demand function, then P is on the y-axis. So shifting that function upwards, the demand function upwards, means first you express P as a function of Q, that is the old demand function, and then add 2 to that. That will give you the new demand function. I understand that this could be a little bit confusing, because And we are helpless in this case because that is the convention in economics. In economics, P in the demand supply diagram is on the y-axis. So shifting upwards of the demand function means you have to perceive the demand function P as a function of Q and then shift it upwards, right? So that is basically the correct way to do it. Any questions regarding this clarification? I am spending so much time on this question because, as I mentioned, quite a few students wrote on this. I can see in my mailbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6, 7 students have the same question. And this kept on coming over 3, 4 days. Same question. If you have any doubts, remaining doubts regarding that, you can ask me. And why this is important, I think there are 2 reasons why this is important. One is conceptually, it is important. One has to be clear as to how these functions are represented in the Cartesian plane, in economics. As one would have expected, one would have expected that since demand function tells you demand as a function of price, so therefore the price is the independent variable. Therefore the price should be on the x-axis. That is our mathematical way of understanding it. That the independent variable comes in the x-axis and the dependent variable on the y-axis. But here it is just the opposite. Here, though price is the independent variable, it is coming on the y-axis. And so when the demand function is shifting upwards, it is that function which is shifting upwards where price is represented along the y-axis. Okay, so that is conceptually, therefore it is important to understand how these functions are represented in the Cartesian plane. That is number 1. The second purpose of clarifying this is practically, there is some reason of clarifying this because similar questions could be asked in the final exam, right? There also one could ask a similar question that suppose a demand function or the supply function also. Whatever I said, exactly same logic will apply in the supply function also. So when I say supply function is, for example, shifting upwards, in that case also you take the supply function and express price as a function of quantity and then shift it upwards, that will give you the new supply function. And then you take the new supply function and the old demand function and find out what is the new equilibrium. So that is how you could solve that. Correction. Gunjan asks on 18th of August. Yeah, the same question actually. He's asking the same question of shifting of the demand function. Official correct answer is rises by 4 by 5, but he has found the answer to be price rises by not 4 by 5 but 3 by 5. I think the TA has given answer to that the correct answer is actually 4 by 5. And how do you find the correct answer is you have to conceptualize the demand function correctly. So when the demand function is shifting upwards, first you have to take the inverse of it and then try to shift it upwards. Okay, so that is there. Let me see if there are any queries here. Yash Rajput has asked a question on the YouTube chat box. What are you teaching, sir? I think Yash means what am I teaching in IIT or in this course? In this course, obviously, I was trying to teach something on mathematics, applications of mathematics in economics. Um, that is the answer to the question as to what am I teaching in this course. As far as my workplace is concerned, what I teach offline is many things. For the undergraduate students, I have been teaching two courses very frequently. One is this course itself, Mathematics for Economics, Part 1, which is the NPTEL course here. I teach that offline also, but that is taught for BTech students in the fourth semester or third semester sometimes, not third semester, fourth semester or fifth semester. So either second year or third year. But there is one difference, however. This course is an NPTEL course. So the videos that we made were like 4 or 5 years back. And since the course material is dependent on the video, I cannot change the course material because the videos are there. I mean, they're stuck in time. I cannot change the video recording, and therefore the course material has remained the same for the last 4 or 5 years. However, when I'm teaching offline, the same course, I can add new material. Minor changes. Obviously, the syllabus cannot be played around with a lot. Syllabus remains the same, but small changes. New ways to explain the thing. That freedom is also there when you are teaching offline. Online video तो बन गया 5 साल पहले चल रहा है. That is one course I teach for the undergraduate students, and for there is another undergraduate course also I teach for the BTech students, which is game theory, applications of game theory, especially in economics. So that is generally taught for again either fourth semester or fifth semester students. Okay, Lemonade, another question, another query that has been asked in the YouTube channel is by Lemonade. So Lemonade is asking, this is economics for which class? So I think I have clarified these questions before in the beginning of this course itself. You will see that what I've said is that undergraduate syllabus, there is a set syllabus by the UGC. UGC means University Grants Commission, which controls the administration or the syllabus making of all or most universities, government universities of India. So they have some set syllabuses for different courses. For economics honors students, they have some papers. One of these papers is mathematical economics, right? Part 1. They have two parts. One of them is mathematical economics, part 1. And this course that I'm teaching here is more or less same, consistent with that UGC syllabus. So, to put it in a nutshell, this course is consistent with the economics honors, what economics honors students learn maybe in their second year, in their second year of their undergraduate degree. So this course is I think, a compulsory course for the economics honors students in the second year. And that is a model syllabus framed by the UGC, which is generally followed by most of the, at least the standard universities of India. For example, Delhi University follows that sort of structure of their economics honors program. So in Delhi University syllabus, if you search online, you will find that there are two mathematical economics courses for their undergraduate students. One of them is mathematical economics 1, and this course is the content of this course matches more or less. I think I have gone a little bit more than what is there. For example, difference equation is not there in those syllabuses, but I have added that here. So that is a new thing. Something else is also there. There are some discussions in this course about financial economics, which is, I think, not there in detail in the IITG syllabus. So I think I've spent some time in the first or second lecture video of this course about this particular topic, that this course that I'm offering, what does it correspond to? What does it map to in the sense of the standard syllabus of the universities? So again, just to let me repeat that, it is basically a course which all economics honors students, or most economics honors students, go through in their first year or maybe in the second year. It's a compulsory course for them. I mean, the standard of this course is like that. Or maybe this standard is a little bit more than that compared to the economics honors course. Okay, any other questions or comments regarding this course? So there are some topics that are still to be covered in this course. I think we have another 4 or 5 weeks left in this course. So there are some. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
Your voice is breaking. Can you write it down?
If a demand supply function moves downward, then price will be reduced by 2. If rightward, then demand will be added to. And if leftward, then demand will be subtracted to. Is it right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If demand supply function
moves
supply
downward, function, there is nothing called demand supply function. Either it is demand function or supply function. So which are you talking about? Which one?
Demand function.
Okay, demand function. Okay.
Moves downward, then price will be subtracted or reduced by 2 units. If it moves rightward, then demand will be added to, and if toward left side, then demand will be subtracted or reduced by 2. Is it right?
No, what I tried to say, I think I made this comment earlier, is that demand function mein kya hota hai? What is demand function after all? Let us try to understand that. Okay. So demand function tells you quantity as a function of price. Okay. Now, if you say that it is shifting upwards by 2, you cannot take the demand function and add 2 to that. Because when the demand function is plotted, on the y-axis you have the price, on the x-axis you have the quantity. So first what you need to do is to take the demand function, take the inverse of that is price as a function of quantity. And now if you are saying the demand function is shifting upwards, then you add 2 to that. After you have inverted, after you have taken P as a function of quantity, then you add 2 to that. Then it will mean that it has shifted upwards by 2.
Same way downward, then P function will be subtracted by 2.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. And
Thank you.
if rightward, then D function will be added by 2. And leftward, then D function will be reduced by 2.
लेफ्टवर्ड राइटवर्ड तब तो आपको वो डिमांड फंक्शन जो P एज अ फंक्शन ऑफ क्वांटिटी है, आई मीन P एज अ फंक्शन क्वांटिटी which you have inverted already, then with that quantity you have to add 2, right? So
Yes.
yes, whatever Q is, instead of Q you write Q plus 2. That will solve the problem.
So that was the error in the assignment.
Yes, sort of error, because I think what many students have missed, that when demand function and supply function are written, then P actually comes on the vertical axis,
Yes.
right? So you have to invert it first and then add 2.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Kirit Bhatt. So if there are no other questions, then I think we can call it a day. I'll see you once again. Another live session is due. I think about 3-4 weeks after this, maybe at the end of October, or maybe in the mid-October. So thank you everyone for joining, and have a nice Dashera and Diwali. Maybe after that Diwali will be there, and then there will be the exam, I guess. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, CET, can we end the session? Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. See you later.